What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a brand new episode of Marvel Storytime. There has not been that much MCU news since we did our last video on D23, which, by the way, did fantastic with views. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. But there has been some very key announcements and maybe subtle hints from Kevin Feige since we last recorded a video about Marvel. So we're going to get into a few of the biggest talking points. The first one, in my opinion, it only has one place to start, is the new Vision series. Now, I'm not going to call it Vision Quest because there's been no official announcement yet. People are just assuming. But obviously, the new brand new Disney Plus series is due to start filming in the first quarter of 2025 to come out in 2026. It has been announced that James Spader will return as Ultron. I don't think people understand the sheer gravity of this. I really hope that Ultron isn't just a voice in Vision's head, and it isn't the case of when the WandaVision Vision activated White Vision and his memories. I hope it's not a case of he accidentally activated Ultron as well, and it's just a voice in Vision's head. I really hope that is not the case. I think even if it was, by the end of it, Ultron will find a way to get his own body, for sure. There's also big rumours that this film is also going to introduce probably the concept of the West Coast Avengers, and maybe even roll on into the premise in the Armor Wars after that. I could 100% see that. I think White Vision will have issues with Ultron. West Coast Avengers will maybe be formed to take down Ultron because maybe the rest of the Avengers are too busy with the whole Doctor Doom situation by that point, because it will be coming out around the time of Doomsday. And then the West Coast Avengers will maybe be formed, or maybe even the Young Avengers, something along them lines. Maybe they'll be formed, and if they can't take him down, maybe Armor Wars, whenever that happens, maybe Rhodey takes the role of leader, trying to take down people with Stark Tech, and that leads him to Ultron as well, who has just gotten bigger and bigger. James Spader is definitely due a big run as Ultron. Like, a one movie arc for Ultron is probably the biggest criticism I can give of the movie. Ultron is a massive, massive character. I think What If did Ultron better than what the movie did. That's not a slight on James Spader at all. James Spader is perfect for Ultron, but the writing for that movie and probably the direction Kevin Feige gave them was that Ultron has to be a one-time Avengers villain, and realistically he should have been in multiple projects, because he's so menacing and unbelievable. Like, he really could do a lot more with the character. So that, and the fact that that's coming to Disney Plus is massive. Like, there was all this talk about a lot of Disney Plus shows being scrapped. There was all this talk about, like, we don't want this, we don't want that, they're not going to connect to the movies, it's not much must-watch television for the movies. And it's just like, can you really tell me that a show about White Vision and Ultron is not going to be must-watch in terms of, like, following the MCU? It definitely will be. So I am more than happy for that, and I just hope it really does live up to its potential, because potentially it could be up there with the best MCU show we've had, up there with Loki. So I really hope we get it off the ground and it goes well. Next bit of news was actually a little teaser hint from Kevin Feige, who was asked about Spider-Man. He was asked about the grounded nature of Spider-Man for the Spider-Man 4, and he came off with, oh, we didn't say the whole movie was going to be grounded. He spoke about alien planets and all. I don't believe that 1 second. I think that's very much a red herring, maybe, for the fact I think the wee bit of Venom symbiote that was left behind in No Way Home by Eddie Brock from the Sony universe, I think that sort of stuff will play in. Maybe towards the end of the movie, I could definitely see Peter Parker getting infected by the symbiote at the end of this movie, leading into a Secret Wars. Because I think the symbiote story should begin in Secret Wars. I would love to see a Tom Holland symbiote, Venomized Spider-Man fighting with Andrew Garfield's and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I would love to see that. They're trying to save him. They're trying to get the symbiote off him. It would be unbelievable. But the more worrying aspect of this is, if it's not fully confirmed, but it's looking more and more likely in terms of dates, that Sony are going to postpone Spider-Man 4 until July 2026. It was obviously originally set to release in December 2025, due to begin filming this year. and that was already going to be a quick turnaround, a worrying turnaround in terms of quality aspect. But now the problem becomes that the release date for Spider-Man 4 is after Doomsday, and I personally do not believe you will see Spider-Man in an Avengers movie until he's had his grounded street level movie, his street level Civil War style film with a Kingpin, with a Daredevil, until the rest of the Avengers even remember who he is. Like, they're not going to call up this unknown guy who just is Spider-Man for Doomsday. He does Doomsday, he does Secret Wars, he does all this multiversal stuff. He sees Tony Stark looking Doctor Doom, goes through all that trauma, and then he has a street level movie. This will stop the character of Spider-Man being able to even go back to street level. So I think you really did have to do Spider-Man 4 coming out before Doomsday, unless Peter Parker is not in Doomsday. That is very much possible. If a lot of Doomsday is going to take place across a multiverse and nobody knows how to contact Spider-Man because they don't know who Peter Parker is now, maybe it's a case of just Peter Parker isn't in Doomsday, but that would really surprise me because Tom Holland has been highlighted as one of the future heads or stars of the MCU, along with Pedro Pascal, along with whoever is the face of the X-Men. Like, we need Tom Holland in Doomsday. I think that would be a better place for the big, like, crazy confrontation between Peter Parker and Victor Von Doom, and the surprise of seeing Tony Stark looking that way. I think that would be more impactful in Doomsday than it would be in Secret Wars. It would raise the stakes of Doomsday, because Secret Wars is a must-see movie anyway. It's guaranteed 2 billion, let's be honest. With all the cameos and all the stuff that's going to happen, it's guaranteed 2 billion. Doomsday might need a bit of a lift, and that type of confrontation needs to take place in Doomsday, in my opinion. But we will just have to wait and see, because honestly, I don't see any way where I just don't think Tom Holland can be in Doomsday before Spider-Man 4. I think his arc is set up for his own movie. I also believe this about Thor and Doctor Strange. I think their arcs need to be wrapped up with Hercules and Clea respectively before they appear in another Avengers movie, because it can't just be written off. But nothing has been announced for any of them. So I don't know what's going to happen. I just don't know if Doctor Strange and all is in Doomsday. I just don't. Maybe Doomsday is a more grounded level Avengers movie, like they've been saying, and it has a smaller number of Avengers, and then after they lose to Doom, they have to recruit not just Avengers, but like everybody from the multiverse, and then they end up getting battle worlded, where they're like, yeah, you're going to be fighting each other to save your own universes. Thanks for rounding everybody up for me. The next big one I have is the deleted scene from, well, it's not really a deleted scene, it was in one of the TVA screens to the left of the post-credits scene from Deadpool and Wolverine. It's been released as a proper scene, a Gambit walking through the wee battlefield of the Void. At number 8, right after Deadpool and Wolverine have got through their portal. So number 1, that confirms that Gambit was not eaten by Alive. That was a big question. Did they all get eaten? Was Daphne Keane the only character who got brought over to Deadpool's universe and the rest got brought over as well off screen? Or did the rest get eaten? Daphne Keane survived. I think it confirms that they all survived, essentially. And you can hear, in the words of Deadpool, a Marvel sparkle circle has opened up behind him, and he has turned around and smiled. And I'm going to make a wild guess and say he's either just been brought into the MCU or he has been taken back to his own universe. But the whole story of Gambit in the Void, because Channing Tatum never got his own film, is that he never had a universe. He was born in the Void, technically, because he was never in existence. So he's obviously not going home, because he wouldn't have a home. And who else would be coming for him if he was never missing from anywhere? So who would make him smile? I think there's a chance that's him being saved from the Void by the TVA, possibly. But why wouldn't the TVA just show up with their temp pads and just bring him through on the doors? Why is it a Marvel sparkle circle? Why is it that? So I don't really know. Maybe there is a possibility here, because obviously Deadpool can travel I know he says he destroyed Cable's time travel device, but that might not be true. I know he can travel back and forward in time. He can travel sideways in time to different universes. Like, is this maybe a later scene? Is this a Secret Wars team recruitment scene filmed ahead of time? Has Deadpool told Doctor Strange in Secret Wars, I can get you a team? And he has done a sparkle circle into the void, and he has went and grabbed Gambit. And he has brought him, and Deadpool has been like, he helped me in the void, he can help us in our Secret Wars movie. Simple as that. And then Deadpool can look at the camera and say, that's fan service or something funny. I think that would be fantastic. I definitely don't think Channing Tatum is done as Gambit. Do I think he'll get a solo movie? No. I don't think he will. I think the MCU's going to do their own Gambit relatively soon, maybe 3 or 4 years away. And probably in like more of a group movie, and then he might get a solo movie. But do I see Channing Tatum getting a solo movie if he's not going to be the MCU's long-term Gambit? No. If he is going to be Gambit long-term, yes, give him a movie. But it all comes down to what Marvel are planning. And also, lastly, Ryan Reynolds has been on like a world tour of Twitter recently, posting big thank you messages to all of his big co-stars from Deadpool and Wolverine, the Jennifer Garner, Wesley Snipes, Channing Tatum, Hugh Jackman, the lot. And I will say he has been very, very vocal about, he thinks that Wesley Snipes' Blade should be basically be the one getting the Blade movie penned in, and it should be Blade 4 in a Logan style-esque farewell. Don't get me wrong, I would love to see that movie. If someone had have said that style of movie to me 10 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, 100%. Like, that would be awesome. I give Wesley Snipes a proper farewell after how bad Blade 3 was. But I just don't think it's right to scrap your own version of Blade. That you, like, this was a passion project. Like, and I just don't want to see it just disappear. Because without our own MCU Blade movie, I don't think we get Midnight Suns. I think you need to have at least one lead-up movie to Midnight Suns. You cannot just do a Midnight Suns movie and like, here's Blade, here's Midnight, here's, like, we'll say Wanda, here's Doctor Strange, here's Ghost Rider, who also hasn't had his own project. You can't just do that. You need to have Blade established. You have to have Blade have his own fully fledged story so he can be the leader of the Midnight Suns, and you can do a post-credit scene where he goes around recruiting people. It needs to be further established and better established. But that is it, guys. Literally near a 13-minute video for 4 bits of news. I think that's how big the bits of news were. Like, because we've had Comic-Con over our heads, we've had D23 over our heads, the news is trickling out a little bit less than it normally does, but there has been some crazy announcements since, which is quite surprising. We still don't have any word on Shang-Chi 2. As I said, we don't have any word on 4 or 5 or Doctor Strange 3. We know dates for Doomsday and for Secret Wars, and they both look like they're going to happen before anybody gets a sequel. There was rumours the Shang-Chi 2 was going to come out after Secret Wars. As long as Shang-Chi is a prominent character in both Avengers movies, that is fine. I do not want him just like left off to the side. He is a big character. He is a brilliant actor, and he should have a big role. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff you guys like to do, and I shall see you on the next one.